Howdy, Dripping Springs. It's Ashley Tellis with another episode of Here's the Drip. This week, as you know, we are focused on not only women owned businesses here in Dripping Springs, but women owning ethical businesses here in Dripping Springs. I am pleased to bring you episode 17 of season 2, and I'm joined today by the owner of Dripping Springs Chocolate Company, Miss Tracy Wilson. Tracy, thanks for tuning in and joining today.
Thank you so much for having me. I just really appreciate this opportunity.
Oh, of course, of course. I said it right before we started recording that I'm really grateful for your time today, and I'm super excited to spread the message that you guys have at your shop. So, can you tell me a little bit about how Dripping Springs Chocolate Company was born?
Sure. Back a few years ago, my husband and our two kids and I went on a mission trip to Nicaragua. And we worked with schools and after school programs, and we worked with hospitals and all kinds of poverty stricken communities. And we really just saw need up close in a way we had not seen before in person. And we left that experience changed and wanting to find ways to help areas like that. So we came back, and after a ton of research, my husband actually discovered that cacao grows only near the equator. It only grows there, and most of those areas are impoverished, and most of the cacao farmers are not paid a fair wage. There's also kind of a dark side of chocolate, and I won't, it would take the rest of our time to get into that, so I won't do it, but there is this dark side of chocolate that also encompasses sometimes some slave labor and some child labor, and so you guys can do your own research into that, but we wanted to also address that. And so by buying only ethically sourced cacao, we can ensure that the farmers we're supporting earn a fair wage and that there's no slave labor or no child labor used. And so we just decided to kind of go down that journey. But the crazy part about it is we had never made chocolate. So yes, so we're foodies and we love food, and we've always loved food ingredients. And we're that crazy family that if we decide to make pizza, we start and make the dough from scratch, and we make pasta from scratch on the weekends for fun, and homemade bread and all those kinds of things. But we had not made chocolate. So we just bought some tabletop equipment and in our kitchen started experimenting and trying to make chocolate. And so after a little while, making lots and lots of batches, and all of our friends trying them, and everybody that stopped by, we were plying with chocolate. We eventually started making better and better chocolate. And we started having neighbors show up on our doorstep saying, hey, that chocolate I tried, can I buy some of that? We said, okay, now we're on to something. So we packed up a camping cooler, went to the Dripping Springs Farmers Market, paid our booth fee, set up our booth, and started giving out samples of chocolate. And this is before COVID, and we could, give out samples and see people's reactions. And so people loved it, and they love to support local here, as you know. And so we sold out. And so we said, okay, this, I think we're onto something. So we just started making more and more and showing up at events and farmers markets, and, selling more and more. And eventually we had shop owners start to approach us and say, we'd really love to carry this. Well, everything we had been making was at home in our kitchen. And so we realized at that point, okay, to scale to that next level, we were going to have to be in a commercial kitchen. We were going to have to also just modify our equipment and upscale all of that. And so we did. And so after a lot of work, we actually have outfitted now a commercial kitchen. We call it our little mini chocolate factory. And over time, those couple of retailers that first approached us, we've added to that, and we're now sell chocolate in about 30-ish retail locations in the Hill Country, and also at our little factory store in Dripping Springs.
Oh, fantastic. When can folks come by and visit said mini chocolate factory? Y'all aren't open, Monday through Friday or anything, right?
Right, we're not open Monday through Friday because most of the time we're here making chocolate and delivering it to all those places. And then on Fridays and Saturdays, we have factory store hours. And so on Fridays from 12 to 5 and Saturdays from 10 to 2, you can actually come shop in our little retail shop right where we make the chocolate. So chances are when you come in to shop with us, you're going to smell roasting cocoa beans and chocolate in the refiner. And that's actually what you're hearing behind me now. The refiner's going. And so you can smell it, you can see what real cocoa beans look like, you can see what cocoa pods look like and where your chocolate comes from. And you can ask all kinds of questions. We're really proud that not only do we use only ethically sourced cacao, but we also control all those ingredients so we can make sure we're not using the things people don't want. None of our chocolate contains soy lecithin, so people that are sensitive to soy can shop with us as well. Also, none of our chocolate contains gluten. Um, our milk chocolate obviously is going to contain milk, but all of our dark chocolate is not only dairy free, but also vegan friendly.
Oh my goodness, I had no idea. Wow. Now, if memory serves, you guys have a few different blends. What is your favorite at the end of the day? Surely every now and again you're like, I don't want to look at chocolate anymore, but what do you reach for when you indulge?
I actually still eat chocolate almost every day.
Oh my
A
goodness.
lot of it's quality control, and just have to, but
Yes.
I want that afternoon pick me up too. And so my favorites are almond and sea salt. That's also our number one seller. So I'm not alone in that. I love the almond sea salt. The sweet and salty blend is really fantastic. So that's the one that I reach for most often.
Oh, fantastic. Now, you said you're in about 30 retail locations. Could you just name a couple that I could go to today, right now, and
Yes,
get
in
some?
Dripping Springs, you can go to Mazama Coffee and Stars on Mercer. You can go to Dripping Springs Pharmacy, Time and Dough. You can go, I'm going to leave out somebody and I'm going to feel so bad, but lots of places in Dripping Springs, lots of local wineries. Um, you can go to Mars Beads on 290 as well, carries our chocolate. But you can go to those places. You can also check our Instagram highlights. And I
Okay.
need to update that again because we have added a couple of retailers just in the last couple of weeks. But you can always find a list of retailers on our highlights at our Instagram page as well.
What is your handle on Instagram? What's your name there?
Dripping Springs Chocolate.
Perfect. Perfect. Before we sign off today, Tracy, was there anything else you'd like to share with our community today?
I'd just like to say thank you really to Dripping Springs. We can't do what we do without the community support that we have here. Even over the last year, that's been so hard for everyone. We for a short time did close our retail shop so that we could continue to make chocolate while we were all assessing what was going on. And we had people buying curbside from us and showing up, buying from our retailers still. And we've since opened back up. So we are open. We're making chocolate, distributing to everywhere that carries it. And also we have the factory store open, but we can't do what we do without you. So to help those cacao farmers down the line, we need the community to show up and they've been fantastic to us. So thank you.
Oh, wow. That is awesome. That is awesome. Thank you for sharing that. I look forward to getting so many eyes on this video. I'm hoping that everybody already knows who you are, but I'm also hoping that they learn a little bit more about your mission and how you're impacting people with sustainable wages, and that it's not just, a 90-cent chocolate bar at the grocery store checkout. Like, there's so much more in every single bite that people are getting from you. So thank you so much for sharing your story. Um, that concludes episode 17, season 2 of Here's the Drip. Thank you again, Miss Tracy of Dripping Springs Chocolate. You can find her on Instagram. I suspect she has a Facebook page as well. And in retail stores, it sounds like literally all across Dripping Springs. So, Miss Tracy, thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.
Thank you.